Okay, here we are on day 128. Grab your worksheets. Let's get started. Capitalization is on your own. So work on that and I'll give you the answers at the tail end. And then we're going to work on punctuation. Today we have something new. Brackets, with a little example of what the brackets look like, are used to enclose a parenthetical statement within parentheses. Example, her son, parentheses, a student at Penn State, bracket, a senior, end of brackets, end of parentheses, is a mountain biker. And then a relatively random thought, but they wanted to make sure you know, do not use a comma between month and year when there's not a day. Example, April 2010. Use parentheses and brackets as well as other punctuation in this sentence. I would like for you to just read the sentence to yourself and see if you can figure out what's happening. Because it took me several tries to figure out what was going on, and then finally I looked at the answer key to make sure that what I thought was going on was right. A fashion show, dog clothes, Japan, was shown on current trends in January 2008. So the first thing is, let's look and see, do we have a direct quotation here? Is anybody speaking this sentence? No, nobody's claiming this sentence. There are no quotation marks. So let's figure out what's going on. A fashion show. Well, the fashion show is related to dog clothes, but I think they're too embarrassed to admit it. So that's why it's going to start going in parentheses. A fashion show, dog clothes. Hold on, we're not done yet though. Where are the dog clothes from? They're from Japan. So we're going to go a fashion show, parentheses, dog clothes, bracket, Japan, end of bracket, end of parentheses, was shown on current trends. Current Trends is a television show, so it should be underlined. In January 2008, period. There is no comma between January and 2008 because they just had told us up above that you don't use a comma between a month and a year without a day. All right, so based on all that, let me show you and see if what I just said to you matches my punctuation on the board. Okay, a fashion show, dog clothes, Japan, was shown on current trends in, oops, I forgot January, but then I remembered it, January, comma, 2008, period. Oh, but I put a comma there, and there shouldn't be a comma. I'll get it. Do not have a comma after January. You don't have a comma when it's the month and the year. It's only when it's the month, the day, and the year. All right, so do as I say, not as I do. Okay, let's move on. Phrases and clauses. A participle phrase may be placed almost anywhere in a sentence. Lying on the floor with his dog, the boy watched television. The boy, lying on the floor with his dog, watched television. But be careful where you place a participle phrase. For example, if you were to place the participle phrase after television, it would appear that the television is lying on the floor, and that would be ridiculous. Example, the boy watched television lying on the floor with his dog. That is wrong. Rewrite each sentence and place the participle phrase in another place in the sentence, but make sure it's not wrong. So cheering for their team, the spectators rose to their feet. Where else can you put that participle phrase and not be wrong? Good luck. The bride, distressed by her attendance, decided to have only a flower girl. Okay, you can move the participle phrase to a different location. Just make sure it's the right one. I'm assuming in both of these situations, you know what the participle phrase is. Good luck. I'll be checking closely for your answers. Don't worry, I might not have given you the answers for this section, but I'm going to give you the answers for the next section. You won't have to work your brains too hard. This is parts of speech pronouns. An example of an objective pronoun is, first, who can tell me what an objective pronoun is used for? When do you use an objective pronoun? You use an objective pronoun when the pronoun is being used as a direct object, an indirect object, or the object of the preposition. And I don't know if that's ringing any bells for you then, if you remember your lists of objective pronouns, okay? But I will show you here. Objective pronouns: her, him, it, me, them, us. Those are all examples of objective pronouns, and they get used as direct objects, indirect objects, and objects of the preposition. You can pick one of those for your answer. An example of an interrogative pronoun. What is an interrogative pronoun? What does interrogative mean? What does interrogate mean? An interrogative pronoun is one that asks a question. And there are 5 main interrogative pronouns. They are who, whom, whose, what, and which. And what do I can't even read my own handwriting. Ever. Oh, you could also say whoever, whomever, whose ever, whatever, whichever. Those are also interrogative pronouns. Okay. But from that list of the main 5, you can pick one to put for your answer. Next, we have an example of a nominative pronoun. How are nominative pronouns used? Nominative pronouns are used as the subject or predicate adjective in a sentence. And the nominative pronouns are I, you, he, she, it, we, y'all, they, and who. They can be used as subjects or predicate nominatives. I just need one. An example of a reflexive pronoun. Do you remember? We just had that a couple of weeks ago. I don't even know if it's been that long ago. Reflexive pronoun, that's the one when it reflects back to the subject, and it would have self in it. Okay, so that would be things like myself, yourself, herself, himself. Remember, hisself is the example they gave you of a wrong one. So it's himself, oneself, itself. And if it's the plural form, it's elves. So themselves, theirselves, ourselves. Any one of those is a reflexive pronoun. It reflects back to the antecedent, which would be a nominative pronoun. An example of a possessive pronoun. What does it mean, possessive? Possessive means you possess it, you own it. It shows ownership. Okay, here's the example of the different possessive pronouns. They're mine, yours, his, its, ours, and theirs. All right, you just need to pick one of those. So there's your list of objective pronouns, interrogative pronouns, nominative pronouns, reflexive pronouns, and possessive pronouns. That's good information to have. If you are really into it, you might even want to copy this down or take a screenshot of it and have all that information in one place. All right. Sentence combining. You just have 2 sentences to combine today into one grand sentence. You should have done your capitalization by now. If not, press pause, and then you're checking for comparing your answers to the correct answers, not copying. All right, so here we go. I will read the sentence. You can follow along and see if you have it right. Was William J. Clinton, oops, I have it as William A. Clinton, but you get the idea. Was William J. Clinton, asked Aaron, a Rhodes Scholar who studied at Oxford University? Well, for some reason, I missed poor little Aaron. Aaron should also be capitalized, but nothing else. Okay, so check it again. Was William J. Clinton, asked Aaron, a Rhodes Scholar who studied at Oxford University? Those are all the words that should be capitalized. I'll be checking. All right, guys, good job today. God bless you.